Hey, what's going on YouTube? This game's from Almost in Full Color, and today I just wanted to give you my thoughts on the new Spider-Man game. Now, I did wait until I did everything you could possibly do in this game. I 100% completed it. At first, I was going to play a few hours of it, kind of get my first initial thoughts, and maybe put out a video and try to touch some of those areas then. But then I decided that wouldn't really be doing this game justice. When I was playing it, it was that good, and I said, I need to do everything I can do in this game before I can actually grade it appropriately. Now, with that being said, I did make sure that I didn't include any storyline cutscenes, or I tried to include as least amount of suits as possible. I picked some earlier gameplay footage, especially for the suits area. For the gadgets and for the skill trees, you can already see every gadget and skill tree that you'll unlock later in the game. So that's not an issue. But the suits are blanked out with question marks. I didn't want to include all the suits and ruin that for people who maybe wanted to be surprised or, like myself, slightly disappointed. There was one suit in the game that wasn't included. Hopefully is included in if we get some DLC. But I was kind of shocked that that suit wasn't in the game. So now I just want to go ahead and touch on a few areas of the game. Just some highlights and maybe a couple gripes that I had with the game. It wasn't many, to be honest. But like I said, without further ado, let's get to that. The story in this game is actually good, but with one caveat. It definitely is very backloaded. The beginning does start off kind of slow, but not to the point you stop being interested. But as you make your way further in the story, and especially near the end game, it gets really great. Now, I should mention in the storyline, you've already been Spider-Man for 8 years. So this isn't another welcome to your new life for Peter Parker. They also do a good job of including other characters in this story, as well as maybe setting up some future DLC in the next coming months. To be honest, I usually don't care too much about the story in a superhero game, but this one actually had me interested in the outcomes. The controls are definitely the strongest attribute for this game, so I have to give a big thumbs up to Insomniac because somehow they found a way to actually grab Spider-Man and put him in the game. The game is very fluid when Spider-Man is moving. They got his speed down. Spider-Man is really lightning fast in this game. So no matter whether you're fighting or whether you're just traversing through the open world, you really feel like Spider-Man. There's nothing you can't do. You move around extremely fast, like so fast to where the game has fast travel, but it's so fast web slinging through the environment, you rarely use it. And fighting enemies, no matter how many enemies are on screen, no matter the difficulty you're playing on, Spider-Man always seems to be a step ahead. He always seems overpowered. And as you can see, the map on this game is actually pretty big. One good part of it is that for all your side quests and any collectibles or anything that you might have unlocked that you're currently pursuing, they have those icons on the map so you know exactly where to go for these. Especially that works great for a lot of the collectibles. And here are all the suits that you can unlock while you play the game. I picked a little earlier in my playthrough to not give too much away. But each one of these suits also has a special power associated with it, but you can switch those powers around to any suit that you want just for aesthetic purposes, which is really nice. Also, it comes with suit mods to where you can kind of power up your character a little extra with the offense or defensive base mods that they have. This here shows off a lot of the various gadgets that Spider-Man gets to use throughout this game. And here shows off the different skill trees. So every time you level up, you acquire a skill point, and you can use these to unlock different moves or abilities to power up Spider-Man. Now, when it comes to the visuals for this game, it definitely looks really good, especially the cutscenes. I didn't add any cutscenes in just because I wanted to keep spoilers to a minimum for this review, but they definitely look amazing. And definitely when it comes to the fight scenes or whether you're just web slinging around, the game looks really good. And if I had to grade it, I probably would say that it would get about an A, not an A+, but an A for visuals. And the only reason is because, weirdly enough, maybe about a handful of times during the game, there are times where the graphics and the visuals, they just lack. I'm not sure why that is or what happened in those situations. One in particular, there was just water. It was, I think, a fire hydrant had broken and water was shooting out, but the water looked really PlayStation 3 like, maybe even PS2 like. It was weird. It kind of caught me off guard, or I wasn't ready for that. I didn't understand how that looked so bad. And I've always kind of graded graphics ever since I can remember by how real the water looked. So when I seen that, it really caught my eye and kind of was a slight eyesore. Granted, it only lasts for a few seconds, so it wasn't really that bad. But besides those handful of times, the graphics don't disappoint. Another nice touch they added to the game is that when they took the time to pack in all the different Spider-Man suits that they put in the game, they actually took the time to make sure no matter what suit you were wearing while you were out playing the game, if a cutscene does activate, you'll be in that suit for the cutscene. And this does happen for pretty much every cutscene in the game, except for the last 2 or 3 at the end of the game. And at that point, you revert back to the advanced suit that you pretty much start the game with. Well, that pretty much wraps up what I wanted to touch on for the game. Like I said, I didn't want to dive too deep into it because I didn't want to give too much away about the game. But as you can see, it's a really, really, really well-polished game. It's a great game. The fighting mechanics, really good. Like, that really, really makes the game. But there is one thing, and it probably won't affect a lot of people. If you're just a main story player or maybe a few side quests here and there, it won't really bother you. But if you kind of did what myself did and try to complete the entire game 100%, you will notice that for a lot of the crime alerts and stuff, they do reuse a lot of the same crimes, I guess. You'll find yourself taking down the same car like a million times. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. If you're one of those completionist type players, you're gonna have to grind through that. It's not that bad. I mean, the fighting makes up for it. You really look forward to fighting. That's how good the fighting is in this game. But yeah, with that being said, man, Spider-Man is definitely a must buy. If you don't have it, I don't know why you don't have it. Definitely should go get it. It's definitely worth the $60. So with that being said, see you guys next time.